Well, hello there. Welcome to today's lesson. Today, I want to talk to you about the stories that make your life. Now, you notice what I said? The stories that make your life. Not the story of your life, how your past has made you who you are today, but how the stories that run through your mind are creating a life you're going to live in the future. One clear definition of the Civil War is how the voice in our head sees the future. Do you understand what I'm saying? So let's say you are a marketer and you're supposed to make so many phone calls or contacts or ask for the order or whatever it is you do as a marketer. You're supposed to do those things. There's only one reason why you don't do them. Because when you look to the future, you tell yourself a story of rejection, embarrassment, humiliation, or something like that, or else you'd do it. I mean, think about it. So the reason the telephone gets heavy, or the person across the room looks like they're 20 miles away, you don't want to walk over there, is because you envision in your mind, the whole voice in your head and everything that's going on says, if I do this, this person is not only going to reject me, they're going to stand up and point their finger at me. They're going to laugh at me. They're going to do all these things. Now, I know what you're saying to yourself. I don't do that. But you have to be doing that, or else you would make the phone calls. You'd go and talk to the person. The only reason we don't do something we know we're supposed to do is because in our mind, we tell ourselves a story. And that story always has a sad and pathetic ending. When we do something, it's because of one of two reasons. We tell ourselves a story of the pain we're going to experience if we don't do it, or the joy we're going to experience if we do it. So I want to tell you this story. About 6 months ago, I was doing events. And I was going to do a workshop, and I wanted to invite everyone that I knew or had their email address to come to this event. So I wrote this letter, and I corrected it, and I wrote it again, and I corrected it again, and I corrected it and wrote it again, and well, you get the idea, right? The story in my mind was, this is tough, this is going to be embarrassing, you don't want to send a letter to all these different people, there's no telling what they're going to think when they receive it. We all go through it, so don't deny it. And then that moment came, I couldn't find any other reason to stall or delay, and I hit the send button. And I sent the message to over 100 people, and I remember thinking to myself, oh no, these people are going to really get this email. They're going to read it. They're going to wonder who this Mark Delaney is, and how can he send me a workshop invitation and charge me to come to his workshop? Who does he? Those things ran through my mind. Now, fortunately, I hit the button already. And, you know, like I said, I stalled as long as I could. But all of a sudden, when I hit the button, as I was thinking about how people were going to receive that, my room that I was in suddenly got really, really cold. And if you were there with me, you could notice me shivering and shaking like, oh, my God, I can't believe I just did it. Oh, I mean, literally speaking, I shook like I was in the Arctic. Well, the email went out. A couple of people bought tickets. Nobody sent me an email saying, don't ever send me an email again. Nobody said anything mean. Nobody said anything awesome or ugly or nasty or anything like that. So once I had done it once and got over that feeling, today I'll send out emails like crazy because I don't care what you think anymore. But I had to go through that process, and so do you. The only way you win the civil war within is to do something. Do something, do something, do something. And when you do it, you will feel the anxiety. And when nothing as bad as you imagine will happen can actually happen. I mean, think about it. It really can't. At worst, people ignore you. People say, no, I'm not interested. That's the worst that's ever happened. But the story in our mind shapes our future by whether or not we look forward and see a bunch of good things or a bunch of bad things from our actions or inactions. So what I want to ask you right now is, The next time you're about to do something that's challenging to you, the next time you're about to take that risk and go out on a limb and whatever it is, I want you to ask yourself the question, what story are you telling yourself? Is it doom and gloom and destruction? Or is it sunshine, rainbows, income, and success? Because if your story is doom, gloom, then you're not going to do it. You're not going to enjoy it. You're going to make excuses. You're going to tell yourself not now. If your story is sunshine and rainbows and income, then you will do those things. So your challenge today is to really listen to the story you tell yourself when you're nervous. I'll just close with one more story real quick. My parents are older than me, obviously. I know you knew that before I said that. But they're at that point where a lot of their friends are passing away. And a couple of years ago, I got asked to take them to one of those little states on the Atlantic Ocean that nobody really knows. Not Connecticut, but another one, New Hampshire, Delaware, something. Delaware. I think it was Delaware. I don't know. But you get the idea, right? One of those little states that nobody in New York State really cares about. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Delawareans, we love you. They asked me to drive them or help them drive. And I remember cruising at my normal cruising speed, and all of a sudden, we went over this bridge that went over this huge river, and I got an anxiety attack like you wouldn't believe. I had never had that happen to me before. All of a sudden, it looked like I was in a single lane bridge going over a big crevice with no guardrails. And all I could do was pull over to the side and slow down. And I said, this has never happened to me before. And you know what? It kind of stuck with me for a while. Coming back from that state that we went to, I went over that bridge again, had the same feeling. And then I noticed that whenever I went up a hill, over a bridge, that I could see what's on the outside, I'd get that anxiety feeling. Now, that's not something that's the voice in my head wasn't doing that. That was a physical reaction that my body had. I don't know where it came from. But overall, all my life, I've had a slight fear of heights. Not that I can't fly in a plane or go up in an elevator, but I have to feel like I'm really secure. Well, a man who does what I do, who can't drive, can't be successful, and isn't free. So I was going over hills and I'd get that anxiety feeling come over my body. I would know what was going to happen. And I took control of the voice in my head and the story I told myself so I wouldn't feel that physical anxiety that I felt. See, anxiety is you, your mind, and or your body looking to the future and picturing everything that could go wrong. So in that case, being up high, going up a hill, passing a truck going up a hill, all I could see was myself going over that hill and plummeting down to the bottom. But I took control of the story, realized I had control, that I'd done this a million times, and now that anxiety feeling is gone. I haven't had that in over a couple of years, but it was because I took control of the story that I tell myself. Just like I did it when it comes to emails, just like I do it at a networking event, just like I do it when it comes to eating and exercise, and that's what you have to do to win the civil war within. You have a story that's going on in your head before you do everything significant. And the more significant thing you're trying to do, the worse the noise of that story can be negative. But you have the power to take control and see the benefits of what you're trying to do. And that's what I challenge you to do from this day forward. This is your biggest supporter, Mark Delaney. I'll see you in the next lesson.